Motion passed.
Members' motions. There are a total of 4 members' motions for this meeting. First member's motion, Mr. Andrew LEUNG will move a motion under Rule 49E(2) of the Rules of Procedure to take note of the Solicitors' General Costs Amendment Rules 2013, which was included in report number 2/13 to 14 of the House Committee laid on the table of this Council. According to the relevant debating procedure, I will first call upon Mr. Andrew LEUNG to speak and move the motion, and then call upon the chairman of the subcommittee formed to scrutinise the relevant item of subsidiary legislation, Mr. Dennis Kwok, to speak, to be followed by other members. Each member, including the mover of the motion, may only speak once and may speak for up to 15 minutes. Finally, I will call upon the public officer to speak. The debate will come to a close after the public officer has spoken, and the motion will not be put to a vote. Members who wish to speak on the motion will please press the request to speak button. I now call upon Mr. Andrew LEUNG to speak and move the motion. Mr. Andrew LEUNG. Mr. President, as chairman of the House Committee, I move the motion in my name as printed in the agenda in accordance with Rule 49E(2) of the Rules of Procedure to allow members debate the Solicitors' General Costs Amendment Rules 2013 under the report number 2/13 to 14 of the House Committee on consideration of subsidiary legislation and other instruments. So I speak. And I'll propose the question to you, and that is that a motion moved by Mr. Andrew LEUNG be passed. Mr. Dennis Kwok.
In my capacity as chairman of the subcommittee on the Solicitors' General Cost Amendment Rules 2013, gazetted on the 21st of June 2013 as LN 110 of 2013, I report on the main deliberations of the subcommittee. The Solicitors' General Cost Amendment Rules 2013 amends the third schedule to the Solicitors' General Cost Rules, which apply to all solicitors' non-contentious business except for any such business which is provided for or regulated by the Solicitors (Trademarks and Patents) Cost Rules made under Section 74 of the Legal Practitioners Ordinance. As LN 110 was made by the Council of the Law Society of Hong Kong instead of by the proper body, the Cost Committee, as required under Section 74 of the LPO, the subcommittee is of the view that LN 110 is void ab initio and does not have any legal effect. The administration admits this to be the case. However, since LN 110 has already been gazetted, the subcommittee would still need to find a way to deal with and resolve the current situation. The administration has proposed for members' consideration 3 options of dealing with the matter. The first option is the publication of a new set of rules to be made by the cost committees with a corrigendum in the Gazette to explain the error. The second option is to express repeal of the rules under Section 34 of the Interpretation and General Clauses Ordinance. And the third option is the validation of the rules by legislation. Members agree that validation of the rules by legislation is not an appropriate option for the present case. Although the majority of members of the subcommittee supports the publication of a new set of rules to be made by the Cost Committee with a corrigendum in the Gazette to explain the error under option 1, the Honourable Mr. Rodney Tong and myself are of the view that moving a motion to repeal the rules under option 2 would ensure the most complete legal certainty and finality. The arguments in support of options 1 and 2 are set out in the report submitted to the members. President, the subcommittee urges the administration to request the Cost Committee to expedite the making of a new set of rules, together with the publication of a corrigendum in the Gazette to clarify the matter and to explain the background and history. To prevent the recurrence of similar incidents in the future, members considered that the administration should also follow up with related parties on the proper procedure for the making of subsidiary legislation relating to the legal professional bodies. President, the above is my report on the subcommittee's work. I shall now express my personal views on the rules. Let's hope the Law Society do not screw up again by using the wrong procedure. Thank you, Mr. President.
有冇其他議員要發言？
Does any other member wish to speak?
好咧，議員發言完畢。我現在請律政司。
Members have already spoken, and I'll call upon the Secretary for Justice to speak. The debate will come to close after the Secretary has spoken. Secretary.
Mr. President, the Solicitors General Costs Amendment Rules 2013, that is the rules, were made under Section 74 of the Legal Practitioners Ordinance. The rules were published in the Gazette on the 21st of June 2013 and tabled at the LegCo afterwards. Instead of being signed by members of the Costs Committee, the rules, as appeared in the Gazette, were signed by members of the Council of the Law Society. This time, the gazetted rules were actually signed by members of the Council of the Law Society instead of by members of the Costs Committee. The House Committee, in view of this, formed a subcommittee to consider whether the rules were properly made and the follow-up actions required. The subcommittee held 2 meetings. Mr. Dennis Kwok, the chairman, and other members had provided us with valuable views. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank them. As stated in the report of the subcommittee, the administration has proposed 3 options for the subcommittee's consideration. The relevant details are set out in the report, and I would better not repeat them here. One of the options, that is option 1 in the report, involves publication of a new set of rules to be made by the proper party, namely the Costs Committee, with a corrigendum in the Gazette to explain the error. The administration had indicated its preference for option 1, and I noted that the majority of the subcommittee members agreed that option 1 should be adopted for the following reasons. Firstly, it is apparent on the face of the record that the rules as published in the Gazette on the 21st of June were not made by the proper authority vested with the requisite powers under the Legal Practitioners Ordinance. Secondly, there is no pending or ongoing court case to challenge the legal effect of the rules as a piece of subsidiary legislation. Thirdly, the rules have not yet come into operation. Fourthly, there are precedent cases on the adoption of option 1. Finally, option 1 is most straightforward and simplest among the 3 options. I understand that the Costs Committee will convene a meeting shortly to follow up on this matter as soon as possible. I believe that the Law Society will also take appropriate steps to prevent the recurrence of similar incidents in the future. Thank you, President. In accordance with Rule 49E9 of the Rules of Procedure, I will not put any question on the motion.